Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that directly concerns our future: the future of work and artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere now. It can answer questions, write essays, analyze data, even create art. In factories, offices, hospitals, and schools, AI is changing how people work. Some celebrate this as progress, while others fear it as a threat. So the question is, what role will humans play in the age of AI? On the one hand, AI brings many benefits. It can do repetitive tasks faster and more accurately than people. Robots can assemble machines without rest. Algorithms can detect diseases in medical images more quickly than doctors. AI can even support teachers, personalizing lessons for students. These tools can make work more efficient and give us more free time. They can also help us focus on creativity, relationships, and problem solving. But on the other hand, AI creates serious challenges. If machines can do the jobs we used to do, what happens to workers? Some people may lose employment. Others may find it difficult to adapt to new technologies. If the wealth created by AI is concentrated only in a few companies or investors, inequality will grow. And if people lose jobs, they may also lose dignity and a sense of purpose. Work is not only about earning money, it's about meaning and contribution. History shows us that technology always changes work. Tractors reduced farm labor but opened opportunities in industry. Computers reduced clerical jobs but created programming and design. In the same way, AI will eliminate some jobs but also create new ones. The challenge is how we prepare for the transition. Education is the key. If jobs are changing, then what we learn must change too. Memorizing facts is not enough anymore. We need skills that AI cannot easily copy: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, empathy. Schools must prepare us not only for today's jobs, but also for jobs that do not yet exist. But this is not only about individuals. It is also about society and justice. If AI increases productivity, who should benefit? Should it only be company owners? Or should it be shared more fairly with workers and communities? Some people propose universal basic income. Others focus on retraining workers. Whatever the solution, it must address both economic security and human dignity. So how should we think about the future of work with AI? I believe it should not be fear versus excitement, but balance. We should welcome AI as a partner, not as a replacement. We should use AI to extend human creativity, not erase it. And we should design systems that ensure fairness, opportunity, and meaning for everyone. The future of work is not something fixed. It is something we will create together. If we only chase efficiency, we may lose freedom and dignity. But if we make wise choices, AI can help us build a society where work is more meaningful and more human than ever before. That is the challenge of our generation, and it is also our opportunity. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to share my thoughts on the theme, humans and nature. In our daily lives, we are supported by the gifts of nature. Food, water, air, all of these come from nature. Yet in modern society, we often treat nature as if it were only a problem for resource. As a result, serious problems such as climate change, deforestation, and the loss of biodiversity are spreading around the world. Of course, it's not as if we're doing nothing. We recycle, we save energy, we expand the use of renewable energy. These efforts are very important and must continue. But at the same time, I cannot help but feel these actions alone may not be enough to protect the future. One reason is the law of nature, sometimes explained through the idea of entropy. No matter how efficient we try to be, every use of energy, every transformation of resources always produces some loss. That means that doing things more efficiently, or recycling again and again, by itself cannot solve the fundamental problem. So what should we do? I believe we must rethink the relationship between humans and nature in a more philosophical way. Instead of seeing nature as something to be managed, we need to see it as a partner in living. In other words, we should move from asking, how can we use nature, to asking, how can we live together with nature? This shift may also change our economic system. Instead of always seeking ore consumption and more growth, we could aim for a society that values seeing what we need carefully and living in harmony with nature. Education, too, should not only teach knowledge and calculation, but also encourage us to think about what it means to live as human beings within nature. Rethinking the relationship between humans and nature is not easy, but if we continue on the same path as today, it is we ourselves and the generations to come who will suffer the consequences. That is why we must not only keep up efforts like recycling and saving energy, but also take one step further and develop a new philosophy. Finally, let me sum up my view in one sentence. Nature is not something to be dominated. It is a partner we live with. Beyond daily efforts, rethinking this relationship itself will be the key to protecting our future. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a paradox of our time, the relationship between technology and loneliness. We live in an age where technology connects us more than ever before. With just one tap, we can send a message across the globe. With one post, we can reach hundreds of friends. Algorithms recommend videos, songs, even people who might share our interests. From the outside, it looks like a world where no one should feel alone. But many of us know that is not the whole story. In fact, studies show that loneliness is increasing, especially among young people. How can it be that the more connected we are, the lonelier we feel? To answer this, let us think about what connection really means. Is it simply exchanging information? Is it counting likes and followers? Or is it something deeper, something that requires trust, patience, and presence? Technology gives us constant communication, but it does not always give us genuine companionship. We may have thousands of followers, but still feel that no one truly understands us. Technology itself is not the enemy. It helps us stay in touch with friends far away. It allows us to share our ideas and creativity. It gives voice to people who were once unheard. But when we depend on technology to replace real human interaction, something is lost. A video call is better than silence, but it is not the same as sitting together. A chatbot may offer answers, but it cannot share joy or pain in the way a true friend can. This is not only a personal issue, but also a social one. Loneliness affects health, mental stability, and even civic life. A society full of isolated individuals becomes weaker, less trusting, and less able to solve common problems. If young people grow up believing that digital contact is enough, they may miss the courage and vulnerability that real relationships require. So what should we do? First, we need to recognize the value of being truly present with one another. Having lunch with a friend without looking at our phones may sound small, but it is a radical act in a distracted world. Second, we must use technology wisely, not as a substitute for human contact, but as a bridge to it. A message can lead to a meeting, and a video call can prepare the way for a real conversation. Finally, we must accept that loneliness will never disappear completely. It is part of the human condition. But it can push us to search for meaning, for friendship, and for community. In the end, technology is a tool. It can help us connect, or it can make us feel more isolated. The choice depends on how we use it. If we remember that real friendship cannot be downloaded, then perhaps we can design lives where technology supports our humanity rather than replaces it. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that may sound simple, but is actually very deep. The difference between knowledge and wisdom. At first, they may seem similar. Both involve learning, both involve thinking. But I believe they are not the same, and this difference matters for our lives and our future. Knowledge is about facts and information. It tells us what is true, what exists, and how things work. For example, knowing the formula for gravity, or the date when a war started, or how to use a new app. These are all examples of knowledge. It is important. Without knowledge, we cannot solve problems or make progress in science and technology. But wisdom is something different. Wisdom is about judgment and values. It is the ability to decide what should be done, not just what can be done. For instance, scientists may know how to use nuclear power. That is knowledge. But deciding whether to use it for energy or for weapons, that is wisdom. Doctors may know how to extend life with machines. But deciding whether to focus on treatment or on the patient, comfort, that is wisdom. In our daily lives too, we can see the difference. We may know many things from the internet, but using that information to make good choices for ourselves and others, that requires wisdom. We may know how to win an argument, but knowing when to stay silent to protect a friend's feelings, that is wisdom. This is why education should not stop at giving us knowledge. If school is only about memorizing facts, then we may end up being clever but not truly thoughtful. Real education must also train us to ask, what does this information mean? And why should I act based on it? In other words, education should aim to build wisdom, not just knowledge. The rise of AI makes this point even clearer. AI can process huge amounts of data and give us answers very quickly. It may even look like it knows things. But AI cannot tell us whether something is right or wrong. It cannot decide what is just or what is fair. That responsibility belongs to us as human beings. So I think the real challenge for our generation is not to collect more and more knowledge, but to use knowledge wisely. Wisdom means thinking beyond ourselves, considering the future, and choosing the path that brings good not only to us, but to others too. In conclusion, knowledge can fill our minds, but wisdom will shape our lives. If we learn to combine both, we can create a better society. But if we confuse them, we may become knowledgeable, but not truly wise. I hope that we, as students and as future citizens, will not only seek knowledge, but also strive for wisdom. Thank you.